Simon, members of the board, thank you for hearing us today. My name is John Ostko, and I'm basically here on behalf of families throughout mid-Michigan who have benefited greatly from the services the music therapy program has provided. And I'm going to end with what was originally, start with what was going to originally be my ending statement, so I apologize for my nervousness here. And that I'm here to ask for members of the board to consider rescinding the proposal by the provost to cancel and delete the music therapy program. And knowing that this is a challenging budget environment, I also ask that you work collaboratively with the faculty, staff, alumni, and students who are currently part of the program who are desperately working to find alternative ways to keep the program moving forward, including alternative funding sources. It takes a lot of time to do that, and in some cases more time than it took to delete the program. I'm here because my family benefited greatly from music therapy, and I wanted to share our story and then leave the rest of my time to others who will talk about other issues. Nothing can really prepare a parent for hearing that your child has an incurable developmental disorder. But when my son was 3.5 years old, Connor was diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder. My wife and I, after getting over the shock, immediately threw ourselves into learning as much as we could about autism and trying to figure out the best way to help our child. We discovered two things right away. First, there are a lot of different therapies out there. All of them have different levels of effectiveness depending on where your child falls in the autistic spectrum of disorders. And it's a trial and error process since every child is different, every child's issues are different, and every child will react differently to different therapies. We also were faced with another fact in the research for autism, which says that the best interventions are those that you can take before the child turns 6 years old, while the brain is still developing. So we had in front of us a plethora of possible therapies and a ticking clock. We had to try something, as many things as we could, as quickly as we could. A friend with a child who is diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome told us about the benefits they'd received from the music therapy program years before. We enrolled my son Connor in the music therapy program, hoped for the best, and watched his development. I'm very happy to report that he entered kindergarten on schedule. He shared an aide with a child in his class who suffered from severe cerebral palsy and, in fact, didn't need the aide very much and wound up helping the aide push this child's wheelchair around quite a bit. My son's issues were primarily in the realms of impaired and delayed speech development and impaired development of socialization skills, two areas which a study published in 2005, which followed autistic spectrum disorder patients receiving music therapy for a 2-year period, and showed marked improvements in those areas. Another thing that the study showed was that 100% of students or patients suffering from autistic spectrum disorders who received music therapy, 100% of them were able to carry the skills they developed in music therapy outside of the therapy environment, into the real world. This fall, my son Connor entered the 1st grade without an aide. While his speech skills still lack significantly behind his peers, they are improving. And my wife and I credit the music therapy program a great deal, and the caring students and faculty who have worked with him over the past 2.5 years with his improved development and his continued improvement. And my plea today is on behalf of not only my family, but the families who this fall are going to find out that their child has autism or an autistic spectrum disorder, and the people next year who, faced with a plethora of therapies and their associated costs, because also therapies for autism as of yet are not generally covered by insurance, may be facing both the financial burdens and just the difficulties of finding a place to take their child to receive therapies that may benefit them and help them better integrate into society. The music therapy program has benefited my family and my son a great deal, and because of that I had to come today and ask that it be continued, and that, again, the board work with those dedicated members of the faculty, staff, students, and even alumni of the program and graduates of the program who are even now working to find alternative ways to fund and continue the program. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning, Madam President and esteemed board members. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Rhonda Kaplan, and I'm here to strongly urge you to reconsider the University Administration's decision to place the moratorium on admissions to and then subsequently disband the 3 music therapy degree programs at Michigan State. I speak with three different yet related hats, first as an alumna, and also, I didn't know, but that was my study that he quoted. So that was a surprise. What I learned from my professors and mentors, including Robert Unkfer and Dale Bartlett, influenced my life and the lives of others deeply, as you can see. I was proud to say I attended the first music therapy degree program in the country and in the world. I believe that your predecessors in university governance were visionary. They recognized the great value and service that could be derived from this new major, music therapy. When I was a student in the early 1970s, MSU inaugurated its on-campus music therapy clinic, which at the time was a very cutting-edge idea and continued the visionary trend. MSU's College of Music is the only music therapy program in Michigan to offer a doctoral degree, so this too sets you apart. And your 2008 vision statement confirms that your leaders still believe and view yourselves as visionary, stating your cross and interdisciplinary enterprises connect the sciences, humanities, and professions in practical, sustainable, and innovative ways to address society's rapidly changing needs, and that you have been advancing knowledge and transforming lives through innovative teaching, research, and outreach for more than 150 years. So I say, why stop now? I'm also proud to be in a league with many other alumni and faculty of the music therapy degree programs at MSU. Our graduates have achieved so much and have gone on not only to serve our professional music therapy associations, but to develop and publish research and clinical documents substantiating the effectiveness of music therapy with a variety of populations and through a variety of approaches. We're honored today to have with us Carol Collins, who I'm told is one of the first graduates of the MSU Music Therapy program. I, like many of my fellow alumni, contribute generously to the university. However, I fear that if the university disbands the music therapy program, there may be a substantial decrease in donations from our alumni. 65 years of graduates is a considerable amount of contributed revenue that may be lost. I speak to you also as a senior manager in a nonprofit organization, a sister community music school, albeit a much older sister, the Music Settlement in Cleveland, Ohio. As director of a large music therapy department and one who collaborates regularly with other artistic directors and administrators, I'm well aware that we have fiduciary responsibilities and often need to make very tough decisions in very challenging times, such as those in which we now find ourselves. I know, however, that these decisions require much thoughtful deliberation and soul-searching on the part of faculty, staff, administration, and boards of directors. We must weigh decisions carefully in light of our mission, vision, core values, and strategic plan. I understand, as you already mentioned today, that your core values are quality, inclusiveness, and connectivity, which are beautifully demonstrated by the MSU Music Therapy program. If, as you say, you're committed to quality, you need only look at the impressive roster of our alumni and their valuable contributions to the profession and their service to over 500,000 Michigan citizens, plus those in other states and countries. How better could you display inclusiveness than to continue to serve individuals with special needs in your community music school and the camps, and to allow future individuals to be served? If you disband the music therapy program, while it's likely that many of your present clients may continue to receive music therapy services, how long can this be sustained when there are no new music therapy students being trained to work with these individuals? As for your third core value of connectivity, music therapy is all about connection. In the therapy setting, clients connect with the music, with one another, and with their therapist. In academic and organizational settings, internal and external connections and collaborations are the key to success. Foundations are more likely to allocate grant monies to those engaged in working partnerships, and departments working together can share resources, ideas, and the like. You've stated that connectivity means that we're forward-looking, anticipating tomorrow's issues while addressing the issues of today. It means a willingness to take responsibility for our role in our community, to work hard, and to fulfill our commitments. It means performing our work in the spirit of service. Your responsibility and commitment is to continue to be a leader in the field of music therapy, to train and prepare those who want to serve. The need is very great. Finally, I speak to you as the President-elect of the American Music Therapy Association, the professional organization for music therapists in the United States. With some 4,000 members, our mission is to advance public awareness of the benefits of music therapy and increase access to quality music therapy services. We are told that the moratorium process was slated for 3 years, yet we have many questions concerning this. I just want to close saying that we believe it's critical to grow the music therapy workforce. We have many potential clients to serve, and that music therapy is cost-effective and accountable treatment. So we urge you to reconsider your decision and to instill your values and knowledge in tomorrow's citizens and leaders and scholars. Thank you for your consideration and for listening today.
Madam President, Chairman of the Board, Trustees, and all the distinguished folks at this table. My name is Bus Faniola, and I'm a retired legislator, which means I'm here talking as a has-been. But I'm here talking to you about a program that I'm certainly not an expert on, but I know a little bit about. And maybe I ought to share with you how I became interested in that, but prior to that time, I should also, forgive me, thank those of you that spoke to folks that were advocating for this program, you trustees, and to those that spoke on our behalf, Mr. Perlis and Mr. Nugent. We appreciate that. But I want you to know that I became interested in music therapy because my daughter is a music therapist, a graduate of this program, a proud graduate of this program. She invited my wife and I to attend one of her programs. And that's when I really learned what this program was all about. I went to this program where these young folks in the Monroe Intermediate School District were performing, and watched them do what you would probably consider very rudimentary things. But as I looked around the room, I saw parents who recognized that their children were doing something that they never thought they could accomplish. And they were doing it, and those parents were proud. And so I'm not ashamed to come here and waste your time. I'm not ashamed to do that. Being a former legislator who listened to pleas from your folks for 16 years, yes, and I served on the College and University's Subcommittee of Appropriations, so I listened to a lot of your pleas. I appreciate you listening to mine. I understand fully the pain and the problems that are created by this financial crisis in this state. I understand fully that there is a structural imbalance, a structural problem in our ability to raise revenue in this state. I'm also cognizant of the fact that there's not much political courage to deal with that. And I do know that there are going to be continual problems in revenue, the revenue stream coming to this university and to other areas as well. So I'm not here trying to tell you that you know, you have to just consider us and consider our plea. But what I am here to tell you is this: give these people a chance. These wonderful folks who are doing this marvelous job, and who went through the program that was the first program of its nature in the world. And I ask you to do this. You know, it's a fait accompli, I think, because I heard you say that everyone else is going to be considered, but it's all done with these folks. I ask you to consider the plea of Trustee Nugent and Trustee Perlis. What is it going to cost for you to slow down? Not a thing. And I propose this. And this is not going to cost you anything. I propose you sit down and talk to these folks that are so passionate about this program, and listen to their proposals about how you can deal with this huge amount of money, this $221,000 that it costs you're going to say, I guess, get rid of this program. I ask that you sit down and talk to them. They've got all kinds of proposals to deal with it, and they're willing to go out and raise money to try to cover the cost. Now, that's a proposal that I think ought to be hard to turn down. I hope, maybe my time is up, and I hope that I haven't taken more than I should have, but this is a very important matter, and I hope that you'll reconsider. Thank you very much.